I guess this whole thing, I'm just using words right now, but you said so I didn't get to really pay something like with mother, and I feel like sometimes, like even this voice isn't even mine.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm stuck in like some time period from
Right.
like when I was 3, pretending to be my mother and living out her experience.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm making that story up.
Or maybe you're not.
But if it's real, how do you, is there instead of me pretending to live out my mother's life, is there some sort of genuine life that lives through me and not my mother? Like
First you gotta let her go.
Let it go.
Let her go.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
No, you made an exchange. You exchanged you for mom. So you play a part.
Why does one person do that?
Oh, it's simple, survival. We all do it to certain degrees in certain ways. We all deny the truth of what we are, right? Usually when we're very young, we deny the truth of what we are as a means of surviving. Because somehow the illusion is I can't be who I am and survive. I can't be who I am and get the love I want, the approval I want, the food I want, the care I want. If I be who I am, I won't get what I want and what I need. Does that make sense? Almost every child in the world in their own way does the same thing, right? In many, many ways, you get the message. Even if you have great parents, you get the message at certain times, but to be who you really are at any given moment isn't acceptable. And yet there you are, you're this little tiny thing, this very innocent little infant, and you're completely dependent. And so you can't, you're not doing this intellectually at that young, but it's what's happening. You can't look around and go, oh, Mama's insane. Daddy's insane. In fact, adults, by and large, are totally insane. Right? It just scare the daylights out of you because they're the ones that they got to feed you, they got to change your diapers, they got to put you to bed, you're totally dependent. So without even being conscious of it, we sacrifice what we really see, the sanity of our being, and we take on the insanity. And who's are we going to? We take on all the insanity around us. If it's mom, we take on mom, sisters, brothers, dogs, cats, the worlds. And that's who we start to be. And it's an exchange. It's a very innocent exchange. At this moment, I'm going to stop being what I really am, and I'm going to start being whatever I need to be to get along. No matter what that is. If I got to totally carry mom's energy, then that's what I'll do. And the only way past that is to see, number one, that it was, number one, you did it. Right? No guilt, but that we each did it. It was a deal we made to survive. We thought we needed to do it.
In our heads we made that deal?
In our hearts.
See, but how does that work? Like if...
It just works. You don't even have to have language to do it. It happens energetically.
Yeah. That's just weird.
It's about as weird as it gets.
Oh, man. Okay, so if I did this with my heart without any language.
The first thing is you have to see. So when you go home, you really have to look at it until you see for yourself, that you see in your own way, with or without language, that you actually see, so you feel. You see that you made this exchange. You made a bargain. You gave up yourself to be what you thought you needed to be. Every kid does it. Or 99.9%. Every kid that they give up who they really are in order to start becoming what they think they need to become. And they have to really see it, right? Not just intellectually. I can just say it and someone goes, hey, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That has no power though, does it?
How do you see without doing 2 + 2 = 4? I don't know how to see it.
Just sit down. How can I say? Remember. Just remember. If you're going to use memory for anything, use it for that.
Remember?
Remember. Remember a moment that you gave it up. Any moment. Any moment that you took on somebody else's energy, somebody else's thought, some other identity, or you pretended to be something you weren't. Any moment will do. Any moment when you left yourself. When you see the moment clearly that you left yourself, when you actually see it, because it's actually happening current time, you see it for what it is. And there's a magic in when you really see it, because when you really see it, then you don't leave yourself. When you really see it. When you really see it, it just stops.
But seeing it can become a technique, and that makes...
It can be. Seeing it once is good enough.
Will it happen by itself?
Everything happens by itself. See, because you never lose yourself. You just cover it over. That's all you can ever do, is cover it over. You can't lose yourself.
Still don't get it.
So ask me one clarifying question so you can understand it.
The real question is I guess I just want to taste who I really am, you know.
It's there. It's that innocent thing. It's that innocence that's never changed. It's the same now as it was as long as you can, as far back as you can remember. That part of you that no matter what's happened, no matter what you've experienced, has never been harmed, has never been touched. This body has grown, right? From a little infant to this woman. And minds have changed, and ideas have changed, and everything changes and modifies, and we get older and older and older, and yet something about us hasn't. It's the same as it was when you were 3 years old, 2 years old, 1 year old, before your parents were even born.
It's that air place, right?
Space. Air, that'll do.
See, I don't know if I'm in air or if I'm checking out. That's my heart. I don't know, sometimes it feels like air, but then I don't know if I'm just checking out because it's too much. I don't know.
It can be used that way. The mind can use it that way, to check out. But that innocence is here, right in the middle of whatever's happening. You noticed? With no checking out at all, with no disassociation, with no going anywhere. That place of innocence and openness, it's still here. It's never gone anywhere. It's recognizing that, or affirming that with just the recognition that starts